This is the BG Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Sam.
Sam!
Go, Pack, go!
The Packers won, Sam!
They did.
Won! Oh my goodness!
They didn't lead with any time left.
Go, Pack, go!
That's what it must be like for Michigan State to win a football game, then, is to
Right?
win with no time left. Holy cow. So much excitement. The Green Bay Packers
man.
won in a ridiculous fashion, and Sam and I are ecstatic about it. But don't worry, we're not going to be complete homers and just say, oh, it was the best game Green Bay's ever played. No. We'll get to it. We will make sure to, at least enjoy it a little bit. But
Yes, we
there
will.
is also a long laundry list of things that need to be talked about.
True.
In terms of things they need to grow on and use and work
It's a
for their
learning
benefit.
experience.
Exactly. It wasn't the worst game of their lives, but it wasn't the best either.
Pretty
so
close.
It was pretty awful. But we'll talk about all that and everything else in full detail today as well. Sam has his Running 101 segment today. We'll have our predictions for the upcoming week of NFL action, and Connor Christensen, who could not be with us yesterday, will be here today because he was not able to make it yesterday, but he's got his new fight corner for us, talking about UFC 194, Conor McGregor for Ireland and wherever else he's from, and all that other stuff. Did you hear, Sam, what Conor McGregor said
I did
in
not.
preparation? I don't remember the exact quote, but he basically said, because he was just kind of saying, I could beat just about anybody. And he's like, even if Jesus came back from the dead, I would kick his ass in the octagon.
Really?
I was like, can you say that? I was like,
He didn't get
wow.
struck with a bolt of lightning.
No, he didn't. To my
Oh.
knowledge, he's still alive.
Well,
I I'm curious to ask Connor about that, but I'm like, can you
say that?
I
don't know.
the fact of the matter is that he did.
He said
and
it.
I haven't heard any repercussions about it since. But anyway, a lot of good things to get to, but just want to take a moment to remind all of you that you can listen to us right here from 7 to 8 a.m. Central live on Spreaker.com and on Periscope. You can also find us from 11 to 1 p.m. Central Time on Sports Radio America, Live 365 and TuneIn, and then on demand on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and on Podbean as well.
And you can find us on social media. We are on Facebook at The BG Sports Show, on Instagram at BG Sports Show, and then we are on Twitter at BG Sports Show. He is at Baxter Colbert, and I am at Samuel_Wallace2.
Go, Pack, go!
Can't get enough of that.
I know. I just got to, let it roll a little bit. I wish I had Bang on the Drum. I don't have Bang on the Drum, but
We'll find it.
we'll find it. We'll send a guy. We'll send an intern.
Yeah.
So Green Bay, they won last night in very dramatic and exciting fashion. They won 27-23 on the last play of the game in what was the weirdest buildup of probably the last 4 minutes of NFL regulation time in NFL history, and at least the recent history.
The Packers need to stop waiting until the fourth quarter to start playing football.
And that's really what it came down to. I mean, even just looking at the box score, they were down 17-0 at halftime. Then they scored 14 points in the third to make it 20-14, which I was like, okay, at that point, maybe.
Got ourselves a game now.
Yeah, yep. When that touchdown strike to Devontae Adams, I was like, oh,
All
okay,
right.
maybe. And
Yeah.
then the fourth quarter, they started tapering off again,
Like, all right.
came back, and then were able to score 2 more touchdowns after the Lions got a field goal, and I'm like, all right then.
Cool.
But then that last play of the game, the last 2 plays of the game, the
Yeah.
last fake play and the last real play
Yep.
of the game were some of the interesting, oddest situations I've ever seen, because that the first last play of the game, play of the
that's
game,
fair.
when, first of all, James Jones had no business throwing the ball all the way back to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. When I saw that Jones, and when the play was over, before the penalty flag came in, Rodgers didn't even realize there was a penalty flag. He was up in James Jones' face yelling at him, saying, like, why would you throw me the ball? Why would you throw the ball 30 yards back across
what
the
am I
field to
gonna
me?
do?
And then there was 2 defenders right there that tackled
Yeah.
him down, which ultimately led to the face mask penalty.
Yes, it did.
And and this is one thing where you can't blame the refs for,
No.
because it happened really, really fast.
It did.
And yes, seeing it on instant replay, sure, there was really no face mask. Let's all just be honest about this. I didn't see a face mask. I don't think you saw a face mask.
I mean, what I saw was his thumb, yes, may have hooked it a little bit as it grazed by. And I think the thing that got it was Rodgers' head turned.
Yeah.
And some people may say, oh, he just turned it. No. There was a little bit of a brush there. I think more so his hand just kind of came running over the top of his face mask and pushed his head a little bit.
I mean, he's wearing gloves. It's a sticky surface.
Yeah,
you
right?
know?
Yeah, so the thing I think that got the refs was the rotation of the head.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to call that.
They do.
They have to.
Exactly. I mean, it did help that Rodgers' chin strap was like halfway up his face as well, too. So it looked like his head got, shuffled around a little bit, like what would happen on a face mask.
Exactly.
And I didn't even think much of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I saw the throw. I thought, go back to Rodgers. Like, oh, great. Game's over.
Good job, guys.
Way to go, Packers. Way to screw it up again.
Yep.
James Jones, you're completely useless again.
Get out.
Whatever. And then I saw the penalty flag, and I was like, because Jim Nance was, like, talking and then freaked out. He's like, oh, that's the game. Oh, there's a penalty flag. I'm like, wait, whoa. What do you mean there's a penalty flag? And I was...
Of course there's a penalty flag
Yeah,
this
and I'm
year.
like, who's holding? What Packer player held? Let's just call the game.
Ineligible man downfield.
Something.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy was halfway to the locker room. What was it?
Yeah.
Like, I need to know. But then the penalty was called. So they got 15 yards, booted up the field. And then I honestly thought that Rodgers was going to get sacked on that 3-man rush. Again, I was like, this would be Green Bay, a 5-on-3 situation, and Detroit still managed to get a sack. But Aaron rolls out.
Like he always does.
Finds some space. What did he call it? Was it a crow hop? What did he call it? It's a baseball term that the baseball community is like, he understands us. Like, I forget what it is, but that little skip step in that got him that momentum he needed to just bomb it down the field.
75 yards he threw that ball. Or 70 yards.
That was a huge throw.
And the arc on that throw was just
the camera lost it.
The camera was
that's
just
how
like,
high it was.
Ball, all right, it's going to come down somewhere over here.
Yeah,
Boop.
and then it just drops in like, holy cow. And then Richard Rodgers going up tall and catching the ball.
Capping off his awesome night.
He had a fantastic night. I mean, looking at Richard Rodgers, he was the best thing that happened to Green Bay last night. 8 catches on 8 targets.
Yeah.
146 yards. I mean, yes, he had a 61-yard touchdown to hinder that a little bit, and that touchdown.
Details.
But he had 7 catches for a little under 100 yards by that first point before that touchdown was caught. So I think this was a game that Richard Rodgers needed.
Yeah.
He needed this game. My fantasy team needed this
Yes, it
game.
did.
But Richard Rodgers needed this game because up until this point, a lot of folks continued to rag on Richard Rodgers, saying, okay, why are we trying to make Richard Rodgers happen? It's just not happening. Let's just leave it where it is and just say to heck with it and move on. But he was a very valuable target. We saw him catch some deep passes or some good passes on that last drive or two of the game as well. I mean, Phil Simms was saying, he's like, Rodgers has had a fantastic game. Before that last play, he kept mentioning Rodgers. He's like, he's getting open. Yep. He's the only person that's getting open. He's making good catches. He was averaging 18 yards a catch last night. That's pretty solid from anybody on the field, honestly.
And the thing is, too, is like you said, 8 catches, 8 targets. Just good,
Not bad.
Sure.
When's the last time somebody can say that over 1 or 2 catches?
It's been a while.
Go 8 for 8. I mean, Calvin Johnson last night was 8 targets for 3 catches, so that's something. But if you're Green Bay, though, Rodgers again last night spread the ball out. I'm not sure why Aaron Rodgers is listed on the stat sheet for having 0 targets and 0 receptions, but he's listed on here, at least according to NFL stats.
No, well, he's not on ESPN.
Okay, well, the one I'm listening to, the one I'm looking at right now. But so other positives, Sam. Let's stay in the positive realm.
Stay in the positive realm.
And this is the thing that I was struggling with last night, and I came up with 2 more positives.
That's good. Probably 2 more than I came
before
up with,
because up until that last throw of the ball, I was like, all right, how many different ways can I tear apart Green Bay tomorrow? And I'm like, I'm going to need at least 1 or 2 things to say, oh, this was good. Mm-hmm. The 2 things I came up with, and I know it was very short-lived, but I liked the energy that John Crockett brought to the offense.
I was watching the game, and all of a sudden they're like, hand off to John Crockett. I'm like,
what?
Who in the... And then they're like, next play, hand off to John Crockett. I'm like, who is John Crockett?
Yeah, who's Sam Congato?
Yeah, right.
That's what I always felt like last night.
Pull up the roster, and I didn't even realize that just hours before they had demoted Alonzo Harris and then promoted John Crockett. I'm like,
They had kept Crockett from preseason.
Yep, undrafted rookie, so...
And I liked what he did.
He brought some energy. It's a nice change of pace.
If you take away Aaron Rodgers, his one little 17-yard touchdown scamper there, which is a beautiful play.
Yeah,
that was a great heads-up play by him. I didn't realize that man still had some get up and go.
He's 32 years old now.
He was zipping down the field. You realize how fast he got there?
He called it out.
Holy cow. I'm like, all right. Go, Aaron, go.
Go, Rodgers,
but
go.
John Crockett, though, on 5 carries, was the team's leading rusher last night if you take away Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Yep. What?
I don't know.
So that was a highlight for me.
What was your other positive?
My other positive was the other rookie on the other side of on the defensive side, Jake Ryan. I thought Jake Ryan played a very good game last night.
Led the team in tackles.
He was zoning hard to the ball. He made a great He made a lot of great defensive plays last night, and I really liked what the young rookie was doing.
Yeah.
And I think that Green Bay needs to now look at this film and say, you know what, Jake, you did a good job. I think that you are capable of maybe getting a starting job, and let's pop Clay Matthews back out wide and let Jake anchor that middle bit and maybe see if we can get some good things coming from him. Jake Ryan recovered a fumble last night as well. So a good overall game from two rookies that probably didn't think they were going to have a big impact in the game last night.
Yeah, no kidding. He played really well in the defensive end. That was great. But question I want to know,
please,
or ask is, why do the Packers just seem to hate Eddie Lacy so much? Why? Coming off of his two best games of the year so far, his only 2 games in which he's gone over 100 yards rushing, has looked a lot more like his old self, catching balls out of the backfield. He had 4 catches for like 30 yards and a touchdown last week, still rushed for over 100 yards, 5 carries. Why?
I think, and somebody on the radio this morning made a great point as I was listening to the opening drive on Sirius XM for their NFL station. It's not, I think, so much that that Green Bay doesn't like Eddie Lacy. It's the fact that you're asking a running back that, let's be honest, needs a little extra help, even when everyone's healthy, to run behind second and third string linemen. Eddie Lacy's not the type of running back that he is going to make a ton of plays on his own. He's not shifty. He's not an Adrian Peterson that can run behind a tattered Minnesota Vikings offensive line for years.
And make him look great.
And still make him look great. Eddie Lacy's not that guy. And he never will be, in my opinion. But asking him to run a draw play up the middle or asking him to go right off tackle into, when you've got guys that are getting blown off the line by really good Lions defensive linemen, you're never going to get that penetration that you need. So that's why I think when they finally brought in Crockett, it allowed the defense didn't know the schemes, didn't know what they were going to do with him. They ran some draw plays with him, and you saw Crockett actually hit the hole with some speed, whereas Eddie Lacy always kind of gets the ball and just expects the hole to be there. Well, you need to make the move, Eddie, and actually run and try to get there,
Man. Especially as a fantasy owner of Lacy, that was tough.
That was my first thought last night too, because you had just traded for him recently.
Man, he's been playing really well, and just in the opening drive, they just kept feeding Starks. I'm like, all right, it's okay. Opening drive, just let Starks get his token touches, then we'll start pounding with Lacy, and it just never happened.
Exactly, and it was one of those things that as I was watching Eddie Lacy run last night, and I've been looking at him this way all season long, he just doesn't look interested to be on the field. Anytime he's got the ball in his hands, he and Davante Adams, I feel especially, always have this mentality of, I expect it just to happen.
Yeah.
It's the hole's going to be there. I'm going to not have to try to do that extra juke or spin. Eddie Lacy had 2 pretty good years to start off his career. Davante Adams had a decent coming out half last of season.
Yep.
And I feel like they almost expect it to be handed to them now this year. I mean, I'm glad that Davante got a touchdown last night. I was happy for him. Hopefully and it was a harder catch to make too, so I'm hoping that buds his confidence now, saying, hey,
hopefully
I can catch a ball between 2 defenders and take a little bit of a hit at the end and hold on to the ball. But even the announcers last night saying, there's another drop for Davante Adams. Like they've already associated. These are guys, I understand they get paid lots of money to talk about these guys for 1 week.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that had to have come up in the meetings, the pre-broadcast meetings, at least once or twice, saying Davante Adams doesn't know how to hold on to the ball.
This guy
anymore.
drops the ball.
And they made sure to mention that multiple times last night. Another drop for Adams. Another drop for Adams. He's been consistent with this all year. I'm like, oh my goodness. So
they know.
I don't know what the deal is with it. I think Eddie Lacy feels content. And I think the fact that he was benched for 1 game and had James Starks start over him sent a message to him a little bit.
Yeah.
But now that he's back, I don't think Green Bay let the punishment sink in enough. And when you punish a kid and you're a teacher, if you punish one of your students and you only do it for a short amount of time and then they kind of come back and start drifting back into your old ways and you don't do anything about it, they feel, well, I mean, sure, I got punished that one time and it sucked, but if I can kind of creep back into my bad ways again and my teacher's not going to say anything about it, well then who's to stop me?
I hear that, but still, he had rushed for over 100 yards in the last 2 games and has looked as good as he's looked the last 2 weeks.
It's true.
So I don't buy the Packers suddenly out of nowhere saying, if he had had a rough game again last week, but how do you bench a guy coming off of 2 straight 100-yard games is just my question.
No, I understand. I do understand that. So, I mean, going forward, Green Bay needs to figure out what makes the most sense from the running back position.
Yep.
But at the same time, with all the injuries on the offensive line, I feel like this might need to be a shotgun pass first. Maybe think about a random handoff or a delay or Randall Cobb even out of the backfield that's got better speed. And instead of this lineup under center, pitch it wide and hope for the best or try to run right up the middle. And I hope going forward that John Crockett at least gets a few touches a game because I think that the energy and resilience he showed last night was fantastic. I mean, he and Eddie Lacy both touched the ball 5 times last night.
Yep.
5 for each of them. Eddie Lacy had 4 total yards, and he averaged 0.8 yards a carry. 0.8. John Crockett touched the ball 5 times for 22 yards, and he averaged 4.4 yards a carry last night.
Can't argue with numbers.
So it seems to be that, at least in my opinion, that John Crockett, was a pretty good addition for Green Bay last night. And I think going forward, the Packers have something possibly budding with John Crockett going in the future.
That'd be awesome.
We'll see what happens with that. But we're going to go to a break. But before we do, a quick moment to thank one of our sponsors of the BG Sports Show. That would be Student Debt Center. You can call them today to have your student loan payments reduced by calling 855-401-3508.
That number again is 855-401-3508. Back with more after the break.
Welcome back to the BG Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Sam.
Quick reminder for all of you social media lovers out there that if you enjoy the BG Sports Show, we encourage you to go and like our Facebook page at the BG Sports Show on Facebook and go and give us a follow, the @ symbol, at BG Sports Show, at BG Sports Show on Instagram as well. Go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
You can find everything that we post on social media, news articles, videos, pictures, and more. If you want to follow us, we are at Baxter Colbert and at Samuel_Wallace2.
Oh, yeah. All right, Sam. You know what I am really excited for this coming weekend?
What's that?
The Big 12 title game.
Really?
Oh, wait. They don't have one because their conference is stupid. Sorry, I just needed to get that off my chest.
As soon as you said Big 12 title game, my first thought was, wait. Really? Oh, no.
When did they get one?
Wait a second.
No. They don't get one.
I mean, it kind of was last weekend, if you think about it.
It really
State.
was.
Like, that had the feeling of a big-time game.
It was more than a feeling, Sam.
All right.
Sorry.
You're done.
I had to get a little bit of a... Anyway, so this upcoming weekend...
It's Friday.
It is Friday, thank God. The 4 conference championship games of major relevance this weekend. The Big Ten, you've got Iowa versus Michigan State. The ACC, you've got UNC, North Carolina, who'd have guessed, versus Clemson.
Not the basketball team.
Not the basketball team, although you did make a good point off air, though, about saying this is Roy Williams that's coaching the football team as well now. Maybe. I mean,
Marcus Page probably out there somewhere.
Yeah, probably. He probably could be just
ball.
fine out there, honestly. The SEC, you've got Alabama versus Florida, and the Pac-12, you have USC versus Stanford.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about some of these games, Sam, for this upcoming conference championship weekend?
I think the game that has the most implication, undoubtedly, is the Iowa-Michigan State game. And that's not just coming from a Big Ten fan, but you have the 4 seed and the 5 seed currently in our college football playoff rankings squaring off for a spot. I mean, the winner will have a spot in the Final Four, undoubtedly.
That is, yeah, exactly. That is the bottom line of it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Well, I mean, let's take a look. Let's just say, even if Clemson and Alabama both lose,
oof, that'd be great.
But then you talk about, does Ohio State slide back up?
Yeah, of course they do.
Does Stanford
because
slide up?
Because the world loves Ohio State.
The world is going to try to find a way to put Ohio State in that.
Stop making Ohio State a thing. Just stop.
Yeah, but the thing is,
what if North Carolina got in?
Gosh,
if North Carolina beats Clemson, and Alabama loses,
I still don't think that's enough.
That's not enough?
I don't think so. Just because it's no. I mean, you and I just talked about this off the air. If you look at the division that North Carolina plays in right now,
oh gosh, total garbage.
So okay, they play in the ACC, which is broken up for those who don't know, the Atlantic side and the Coastal side. The Atlantic Division, Coastal Division. In the Coastal Division, North Carolina is 8-0 in conference, and they have beaten the likes of Pittsburgh, Miami, Florida, Duke, not the Duke basketball team, the Duke football team, Virginia Tech, Virginia, and Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and traditionally Miami of Florida is not a bad football team. Virginia Tech is usually pretty good as well. Pitt has its on and off years as well, but this is an off year for the entire conference.
And Pitt is sitting number 2 right now in their side of the division, but come on.
What's their record, though?
Pitt is 6-2 in conference, 8-4 overall. So they are definitely bowl eligible, and they've been playing some good ball. But
they'll go to a bowl.
Yeah, North Carolina has been being dominant in a very weak division. So even if they win, I still don't see them getting in.
So this is just a massive hypothetical. What if Clemson, Alabama, and Iowa all lose?
If they all lose,
1, 2, and 4 in the college football rankings all lose.
Then you're sitting with Oklahoma, Michigan State, probably Ohio State, and then
probably Clemson. Does Clemson fall out of the top 4 if they lose?
If they lose, I mean,
actually, Stanford. If Stanford wins,
you are going to have a lot of. Well, actually, if Iowa and Clemson both lose, you're going to be stuck with a lot of one-loss teams. You won't have any undefeated teams that could make their case.
So then the committee has to go kind of crazy. I feel like if Clemson, Alabama both lose, then Stanford's going to get away. If Stanford beats USC, Stanford will probably move in. I don't know about Iowa, Michigan State. If they win, sure, they have the same record as Iowa. Yes, they own the tiebreaker, but are they really better? Possibly, maybe.
I mean, Michigan State has the pedigree, and they've just they have that winning nature. At least kind of go in their favor. Like if this season aside, if I were just to straight up ask you, okay, Iowa or Michigan State, what would you say?
Michigan State.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think anybody in the last decade probably who knows anything about college football would say Michigan State just on a whim.
Absolutely. I don't see anything. I mean, I think Iowa's got a great 3-pronged running attack this year. Their defense has looked fairly sound as well, but the pedigree, as you mentioned, the overall prowess of what Michigan State football is, I feel, is just better than what I think Iowa's just happened to put all the pieces together this year.
Michigan State definitely has the X factor kind of going in their favor.
Exactly. So, predictions then for these games, Sam. What are we taking? Let's start in the Big Ten. Iowa, Michigan State.
I would love to see Iowa win. I really, really would. I think they can get it done, but they're going to have to play a near perfect game from start to finish.
True.
I think Michigan State has more to bring to the table, and I could see them handling Iowa fairly handily. Not saying they'll blow them out, but I could see a 24-17, something just they always keep their foot on the gas and they'll walk away with it. But man, I'm gonna go with Michigan State.
Okay.
Honestly,
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one as well. I think Michigan State's offense and team just as a whole, I think that they've been in this situation before. This is a new frontier for Iowa, and I think that they're gonna just panic on the big stage, honestly. And I think it's gonna be easier for Michigan State to put Iowa out of their misery now than Iowa to go on even bigger national television against a much better opponent and get embarrassed.
Yeah, not that I want to throw Iowa under the bus right away, but I would hate just for the Big Ten itself to have Iowa make it far and then just to get shown up, because then the thing that's going to happen is what happens frequently enough is the Big Ten's not worthy. They don't play tough opponents. They get to the big stage and they fail. For Iowa's sake, if they go all the way, props to them. They are going to prove a lot of people wrong. But
agreed. I completely agree with you. All right, ACC, UNC versus Clemson. I almost want to say this is a surefire victory for Clemson, but does UNC have any magic in them?
I mean, hey, like we said, that's why they play the game. UNC's, they got a shot. They've made it that far. But, yeah, I don't see Clemson losing this game.
Agreed. Yep, Clemson is just too good of a football team right now. Bama, Florida, probably the best game that's going to be happening out of these four. Florida's been weird all season long. I understand that they're ranked very, very low in the college football rankings. But, I mean, Florida, you look at it, they come in. Where'd they go?
Are they even on the rankings?
Yeah, they're 18. There they are.
There we go.
I was like, I know they're in the high teens. So they're 18, and you've got Alabama, who's number 2.
Yep.
The Gators traditionally against Alabama have always been a good battle for someone that lived in Florida for years. Anytime you got a Florida LSU, a Florida Alabama final,
they compete well.
They did, yep.
Regardless of record.
So I'm going to use this as my upset pick, not because I don't like Alabama, but because I think Florida will put it together.
There you go.
It'll be a good cap off for Florida's season. They've been all over the place with having their quarterback suspended. They've gone through some coaching changes. I think this would be a great victory for Florida to cap off their season.
Yeah, I don't think Alabama's going to lose this game. I just don't see it happening, so I'm just going to stay with the chalk and go with Alabama.
Fair enough. And then USC, Stanford. I have become a closet Stanford fan, more so because of their hot run. What is he, a running back, wide receiver? He's kind of an athlete.
Yeah.
I think is the best way to describe him.
Sure.
But he, now his name is escaping me, Connor McCaffrey, that's who it is. He's just had a fantastic year this year. Just absolutely dynamic in the rushing game. He's had some great receptions as well, lining out wide as a receiver, and he's a great return man as well. So getting that kind of Christian McCaffrey, but even still, getting that type of player on your team, I think, gives Stanford the clear edge in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there with Stanford. They just have a lot more talent than USC does.
Fair
Straight
enough.
up.
No, I agree. All right, well, when we come back, Sam is going to indulge in the running world in a very interesting way. We'll talk about that when we come back. But before we do, we just want to make a quick mention about one of our sponsors of the BG Sports Show. That is Student Debt Center. You can call them now to inquire about your student loans being reduced by calling 855-401-3508. You can make one easy student loan payment and stop or avoid garnishments from your check as well.
And again, that number is 855-401-3508 for much lower payments based on your income and living circumstances rather than a fixed interest rate. Better call now before Congress makes cuts to the national budget, which will nullify this free program. Remember, that number is 855-401-3508. Back with more after the break.
Welcome back to the BG Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Sam.
Quick reminder for all of you wonderful listeners out there that if you enjoy listening to the BG Sports Show, you can catch us right here from 7 to 8 a.m. Central live on Spreaker.com and on Periscope as well, and on Sports Radio America.
We are also broadcasted from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time on SportsRadioAmerica.com, live through 65, and tune in. So check us out and tell your friends.
Yes, indeed. We are celebrating the Packers win, which is fantastic, although we talked about it heavily in the first segment and could have gone through the entire show because there's many angles, viewpoints, thoughts.
So much going on.
The way I don't want to cut into your segment, Sam, because I know you've
fine.
got things. One of the things I just wanted to make mention of fast, the way the game ended last night is kind of how it feels to score a last-second goal in soccer.
Yeah.
You know, it's that
In extra time.
In extra time, the emotion that I felt when Richard Rodgers caught that touchdown is similar to what I felt when Landon Donovan scored that decisive goal against, I think it was Algeria or Slovenia. I forget who it was, but he scored a fantastic goal in the World Cup back in 2010 that sent the U.S. into an absolute hysteria and pandemic.
And then they went on and got their butts kicked against Ghana.
Exactly, but that's irrelevant. Be that as it may, it was that same
Yeah.
feeling. The entire team rushed the field, it was a fantastic play. You know, it was a great movement. You know, great moment as a whole. So that's kind of how
Yeah.
at least for me as a soccer player,
There
the
you
emotion
go.
that I felt from that was similar to what I attribute to when a game-winning goal is scored as well. Fantastic.
Probably how UCLA felt last night after they beat number 1 Kentucky.
No kidding, right?
Right.
What a great win for them. Congratulations.
Go,
All right,
go
Sam.
Bruins.
Woo! One more time. I think it's about the last time I'm going to play it.
That's fine.
I'm kind of over it at this point
Are
now.
you?
They've won, but it was an awful win.
All right.
They didn't deserve it. No, they won. That's why they play the game. Good for them. I'm glad the Green Bay won. Honestly, I am. Really, I
Are you
am.
done?
Sure.
Can I start now? I swear.
Okay, fine, go. Fine, Doc, go.
So I know it's been a few weeks since we've had the Running 101 segment, but
Yes.
this week came at an opportune time because I don't know if I want to call it a tradition because it's been a couple years now that they've been doing this, but
Like Feather on the Roof tradition?
yeah, there we go. But the running community and the running world, really promoted by FlowTrack. For those who don't know what FlowTrack is, they're I guess kind of one of the big entities of the track and field and cross country world. For
Sounds like something that I'd have a long list of side effects.
yeah, FlowTrack.
Don't take FlowTrack if you're pregnant or if
Yeah.
you're nursing.
Yeah.
It might cause death. Oh,
Right.
good.
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, so what has gone on now in the running community the last couple of years is a beer mile world championship run.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who don't know what a beer mile is, or a milk mile, or any
just
other type
don't
of
know how to figure things out.
or type of mile is, it involves drinking or chugging 12 ounces of a given substance, running a lap on a track, 12 more ounces lap, 12 ounces lap, 12 ounces lap. So I say lap on a track. Lap's a quarter mile. 4 laps is a mile.
Sure.
For all the people that don't know math. But also, what it is it's 48 ounces of a given liquid, which is a lot
Yes.
while you're running in a very short period of time.
True.
And I guess this started actually back in the 80s with a bunch of random distance runners who got together and they liked drinking beer and they liked running. And they said, hey, what if we combine the two and make some really weird,
Seems like something like the
convoluted
Germans or
fun
something
event.
would do.
Right?
Let's runs for a while, but we'll also have some beer because we
Yeah.
love the beer.
Yeah, we're going to do both.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the FlowTrack Beer Mile World Championships happened this last week, and the men and the women both set their respective world records.
Of course they did.
The women, the top woman finished with a 6:08 mile while drinking 48 ounces of alcohol.
Shoot.
And the men's top time was a 21-year-old college student he's a cross-country runner from University of Western Ontario. Yeah, University of Western Ontario. He ran 4:47.
Well, he's Canadian. He's automatically got an advantage.
He ran a 4:47 mile while drinking 48 ounces of beer.
Shoot. Well, he's Canadian. They drink for sport up there. That's what they do.
Then he came down to Texas. Austin, Texas is where it was held, and he just went off on the field. It was awesome. Actually, another guy who won it last year broke his own world record but couldn't beat the kid.
4:47.
A 4:47 mile.
I know a 4-minute mile is like, the big thing.
Yeah.
But can you run a 4:47 sober mile?
Straight up, yes, I can.
Okay.
My best mile is like 4:34.
Okay. Dang.
4:34. But
So how does that make you feel that a man that was incredibly intoxicated didn't miss your best time
by a whole
much.
lot, by like 13 seconds. It's watching it. It was pretty awesome, actually, watching him do it. The top two guys pretty much separated from the pack right away, and there's actually a lot of science that goes into it. A lot of
I've
practice
heard.
and technique. I don't know what the actual rules are, but the alcohol has to be a certain level of alcohol content,
Sure.
percentage-wise. But actually, what they do is a lot of them use like lukewarm room
I was going
temperature
to say,
beer.
isn't it lukewarm? Is what I've heard is the best.
Yep, and you can't have the beer open. You actually have to crack it. So it can be like a twist top bottle or a can, whatever. But when you use it at room temperature, right when you open it, all the carbonation is gone immediately, right from the first crack. So you're not trying to chug
Nice.
while you're trying to ingest what am I trying to say? Carbonation.
There
I
it
almost
is.
said condensation. That's not the right C word for this morning.
No.
But yeah, and guys will train for this. They do workouts, and you can find some of the goofy stuff they do online, and it's
How come Connor's never given us a beer mile fitness tip?
yeah, right. Maybe that'll have to be his.
It's ridiculous.
Maybe in the
I
next.
want a video about this.
Maybe one of the next couple of weeks here, we'll have to put something together.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was just my. Actually, really wasn't a tip for the day. It's kind of a little fun.
It was running.
Some fun news from the world of running that can be a little bit wild and crazy, but they still know to have a little bit of fun.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's still technically your segment. Is anything else in the world you'd like to address right now, Sam? The podium is yours.
I can talk about anything.
Anything.
Gosh, man, I don't even know.
You don't know?
I'm not prepared for this. I'm only prepared to talk about the beer mile.
It's all right.
Go, Pack, go!
Nothing else?
No.
Nothing else at all in the sports world. How about your massive trade between Eli Manning and Eddie Lacy in your fantasy football league?
Yeah.
How'd that pan out for you last time?
Did not pan out well.
No.
I had 0 points sitting on my bench from
Bold move.
from Eddie Lacy. Yeah, I pretty much sold my soul to Matthew Stafford for the rest of the year.
It's not a bad place to sell.
No,
He didn't look awful last night.
no. The fumble was a little upsetting, but
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Julius Peppers did his job.
you did. Yeah, sometimes you got to let the other guy have his part too. So we'll see what happens.
That's why they play the game, Sam.
But you know what? Your tight end played well last night.
Richie Rogers doing a great job. It was good. It was good.
Richie Rogers.
Richie Rogers, like we're bros or something. 20 points from a fantasy tight end. When's the last time that happened that it wasn't Gronkowski?
Or Jimmy Graham. Yeah, no kidding.
Jimmy
Probably
G.
never.
I don't think so. I feel like Travis Kelce or Tyler Eifert has done a few good things this year. Tyler Eifert had like a 3-touchdown game this year, didn't he? 2 or 3
Something
touchdown?
like that. Yeah, or Travis Kelce's probably done something like that.
I don't
But you
know.
know what? But he's white, so no one will get upset when he dances. Just
True.
saying.
Stab on him. I love it. All right, we're going to a break. When we come back, we're going to offer our predictions for this upcoming week of NFL action. You're not going to want to miss it. I've got some upsets that Sam might throw me under the table for. We'll see what happens. Welcome back to the BG Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I am Bax.
And this is Sam.
Hi, Sam. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good.
It's Friday.
It
It's
is.
7:46 in the morning. I am wide awake, ready to go.
Woo! I'm excited.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
I'm thrilled. We're a lot of good things to finish up on the show with today. We've got our predictions for the upcoming week of NFL action. And Sam, I feel...
Do you want to talk about it?
I feel like we should talk about it, but I also feel like we should put something on the line for our picks as well.
Ooh, should we?
Like, something.
Like, what do you want to put on the
I
line?
don't know. Like somebody should do something or something. I think the Kim Kardashian pose is a little much. I don't think we need to do that.
Good.
I don't think that the butt photo is not needed. You didn't see that?
What do you?
You didn't? What?
All right.
Never mind.
Never
We could shave our heads. No, you don't even have that much hair to begin with.
Wouldn't do me any good.
That's true. Me, I've got my thick Italian locks here. I would hate to cut off this beautiful mop of hair.
Are we gonna do our picks? Or
We
not?
can. I mean, I feel like something should be on the line though, like to make it a little bit more.
We should probably figure something a little bit better out.
Loser
before
has to give a massage to Connor or something.
No, that's all right. I'm good.
No?
Yeah. Well,
All right. Well,
next
figure
week we'll
something.
talk.
All right. We'll bet like some water or something on it.
Sure.
I don't know. A round of water is on the loser or something. Fair enough. All right. I don't know. No, you don't want to put anything on it. Make it interesting. Give the people at home something to cheer for.
all right. I got nothing. I'm
Okay,
good.
fair enough. All right, whatever. You're useless. No, you're not. You're fine. You're fine. We're moving on. Anyway, so Atlanta takes on Tampa Bay in the first game this week. No, Sam, come back. He's put down the headset and has walked away. That's fine. It's fine. If he's put the headset on, I can just play this again. That's not a problem. So, if he's gonna just continue to, just shaft me, I'll just play Packer music all day and just, Are you good?
I'm good.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Are you gonna be? Can we do this?
We're gonna be savage the rest of the show.
Apparently.
No, I'm good.
All right. So, Atlanta and Tampa Bay.
You're gonna go Tampa Bay, aren't you?
Absolutely, I'm going Tampa Bay. Just
You
for
would.
Cam
Just
out
for
there.
Cam.
Wherever the hell Cam is.
Cam Fitch 32.
We got you, bro.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if you're on Periscope today or not, Cam, or listening, but I've got Tampa Bay winning.
You do. Yeah.
Atlanta's horrible.
I'm gonna go Falcons.
Can we be just brutally honest with our picks and just say, like, a lot of things about
Sure.
these teams? I'm tired of the pussyfooting around where it's like, oh, they might be good. It's like, no, just call it out.
Call them out.
Call them out. Houston, Buffalo.
Houston, Buffalo. Houston, man. Line them up.
Line them up.
Line them up and shoot them. Let's go. Shoot them down.
Pew pew pew. Did you hear the video of J.J. Watt talking about Drew Brees?
Yeah.
He's like, you guys need a new right tackle. I was like, I don't like hitting Drew like that. I like Drew. I was
Yeah,
like,
see?
he's a nice guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's true.
It's so true.
It just seems like something. Like, he's a nice guy. I don't want to hit him like that. you
Come
know?
on.
He's like, but I also get paid millions of dollars to hit people, so I'm gonna still hit him. It's
Yep.
like, that's awesome. He's like, you guys need a new right tackle. I'm like, I mean, it's New Orleans. They need a whole new everything.
Just
but
everything except Drew Brees needs to go.
basically, just cut the whole team, start over.
All right, so you're going Bills or Texans?
I'm going Bills.
Of course you are.
Tyrod!
Gosh.
Ride the
He
Tyrod
is
Taylor train.
useless.
Shady LaShawn McCoy and Rex Ryan trying to create fake diseases so he can draft J.J. Watt.
Yeah, why you just... Never mind. All right,
Rex Ryan's
Ravens, Dolphins.
Stupid. Ravens, Dolphins?
Yeah.
I've got Bears, 49ers next on my list.
That's fine. I'm just asking you Ravens, Dolphins.
Fine, Ravens, Dolphins. I mean, they're both garbage, so that's why I'm taking Baltimore.
All right, I'm going Dolphins.
What is with you today?
This is going to be great.
All right, fair enough.
It's
What's the
gonna be
next game, since you apparently seem to be dictating our flow of predictions today?
Ooh, Seahawks, Vikings.
Seahawks, Vikings, I'm going to call a tie. No, I'm not going to
can't-
do that.
I was actually at the game when the Packers tied the Vikings a couple years ago at Lambeau
that's
Field.
right.
It's a good game.
Do I want to go with what I realistically think is going to happen?
Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
I think so. I mean, you can have a hope and a prayer. No, Seattle's going to crush Minnesota.
Really? All right, I'm just going to go Minnesota
It's
then.
going to be bad.
Go AP all day.
I hope so.
AP for days.
I hope so.
Me too.
Oh. Okay, next.
Bengals, Browns.
No one cares. Cincinnati.
What do you mean no one cares? The Bengals are 9-2.
Exactly, no one cares.
Okay.
They're irrelevant now in the NFL again. No one's talked about Cincinnati since they lost their first game to Houston.
Red Rifle for days. Browns are garbage.
They're both garbage.
Jaguars, Titans. This game we could just skip Niners, Bears.
Blake Bortles over Marcus Mariota. Niners, Bears, Jay Cutler and company are going to mess up San Fran.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to agree with you on that one. I don't
Thank
see
you.
Blaine
What
Gabbert in.
what about the Jaguars Titans game?
Jaguars, Titans, Blake Bortles for days.
Woo!
Can't disagree with that. Who do you got, Phillip Rivers or Brock Osweiler?
I've got Brock Osweiler's defense.
Yep. That's fair. The 6'8" Brock, come on.
He's a big man.
He's a monster.
He's a big guy.
He's like Big Ben, but like half as big.
Yeah. He's got, I don't remember what it says, but he's got like some massive like tattoo like scripted out like on his left arm.
Yeah.
I forget what it says, but
It doesn't say cannon, probably.
not in his left arm.
No.
That's not
Oh,
his
it's left
throwing
arm.
But yeah.
Is he a lefty? No.
No, he's a righty.
We need a white lefty quarterback.
Mark Brunell was the last guy that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Back in Jacksonville. Good old
No
Mark.
offense to Michael Vick, but we need a white left-handed quarterback in the league.
I feel like there was some. Oh, well. Debo.
No.
I
real
mean,
quarterback.
Bring him back. Let's go.
Keep him in the SEC network.
Tebow, yeah.
Panthers, Saints.
Did I offer an official prediction for that last game? I've got Denver.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Sorry.
I kind of assumed.
Yeah.
Panthers, Saints.
Cam Newton.
Cam
the
Newton?
Panthers. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Just got a dab.
New Orleans defense is so bad.
Exactly. I got to go for the thug, Cam Newton, because he is very thug, apparently.
Super thug.
Super thug with
All
his
the-
charity work and all the free balls he gives away.
Yeah.
Extra thug. If I've ever met a more thuggish man in my life,
You've never met Cam Newton,
it'd,
so
be,
that's
it'd
okay.
be Connor Christensen.
And that's yeah. Well,
He's pretty thug. I mean, just look at him.
I'm trying not to. Chiefs, Raiders.
Chiefs, Raiders. I don't really care. Raiders, because I think that Derek Carr would like to wreck whatever little bit of hope the Chiefs still have.
Chiefs have won 5 games in a row, and I don't see that stopping now. Go
I do.
Chiefs.
Go Raiders.
That's fine.
Black City, Steel City. What are they? The Raiders.
Eagles, Patriots.
Patriots. Tom Brady and company. You can put a bunch of mannequins out there with stick-em gloves, and the Patriots would still win. And that's pretty much all. Manning just that guy Brady. I'm sorry, it happens.
You just mixed up Brady and Manning.
What are you gonna do? I was saying mannequin,
No.
and I went from mannequin to Brady, and I got Manarady there.
No, it was straight up Manning.
You're gonna have to check the tape. Anyway,
I will.
I'm sure you will. Patriots.
Patriots, yeah. No kidding.
100%.
Sunday Night Football, is it going to be worth watching?
Who's the starting quarterback?
I hope it's Matt Hasselbeck.
If they're smart, it'll be Matt Hasselbeck.
It should be Hasselbeck v. Landry Jones.
Ooh, battle of the backups.
I mean,
is Roethlisberger technically still out?
I think he's still a backup. They should put him in. He's pretty good.
I like the kid.
I do. He's got potential.
He does, unless he rides a motorcycle
That's true.
or is around a lot of women at bars.
There we go.
Might not end well.
Anyways.
Anyway. Woo! I've got Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Monday night,
Oof.
barn burner.
It's actually got good implications, at least for one team.
Unfortunately.
I mean, realistically, Dallas is 2 games out of first place, which just proves how awful the NFC East is.
It's actually got pretty good implications for both teams. But
I mean, sure.
I'm going to go Kirk Cousins at home. He's a monster in Maryland. The monster of Maryland. That's going to be Kirk.
Washington Redskins in Maryland. It's not.
It's Landover, Maryland. That's where they play.
Why they're Washington D.C. play in the act. I'm sorry.
DC is in Maryland. Do you know that?
What? They've got their own District of Columbia.
Do you
though.
know where like the capital of your own country is?
I mean, but it's not the same thing. What? There's 50 states, not 49 and a half. The District of Columbia is a state.
No, it's not.
People always count it as that.
No, they don't.
What?
There are 50 states, and then there is the District of Columbia.
Screw the territories. All right, just bomb
my
them all.
gosh.
No, don't bomb them. What in the world?
You didn't know? Oh,
No.
man. This is embarrassing.
Wow. Really?
Yes.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
I need my voting rights revoked.
No kidding.
I'm better than most of the people that vote. Let's be
Tell me you
honest.
didn't vote in the last election, not knowing where our capital was, or that it wasn't a state.
I guess I also feel bad, and this is going to make me look even worse, that I just visited the Capitol like 2 weeks ago
Of our nation.
of these United States of America.
All right.
But I also didn't bother to ask. I was like, oh, we're in Washington, D.C. I didn't think to look on my phone and say, oh, we're in Maryland. I knew we were right by it. I went through Maryland and Virginia, but I was like, I think D.C. is like this small little bloop right in the middle.
So you thought like the 50th state was D.C.?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Now
right.
I know. Okay, I'm sorry. Now I know.
Now you know.
It's the more you know, Sam.
It is
That's
the
why
more
they
you
play
know.
the game.
Truth.
Total side note.
Yep.
Happy National Cookie Day.
Thank you.
It is. It's National
I don't even know where to go from this anymore. I really don't. I think we should just bring in Connor.
I mean, we probably could. Side note, the best thing I've seen on Twitter today is a tweet from the Denny's restaurant official Twitter that says, waiter's going to wait.
Waiter's going to wait. On that note,
We're going to a break.
Thanks
we'll
for
be back
listening.
with more. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the BG Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Connor.
Good morning, Connor.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
I almost just missed that, and this is Connor because I was rocking out to the song.
It's a good. I mean,
It is a good song. What song is that? Do you know?
I have no idea. It's just one of
just
those
a
royalty-free
Spreaker
music.
thing?
It's listed as commercial number 8 on my database.
I'll Google it. Commercial number 8, Spreaker. What's
well,
the song?
I named it that. I think I have the official
darn.
title somewhere.
Okay, yeah, find it for me.
I mean, I could
want
send it
that.
to you if
I
you'd
want that
like.
now. I want that now.
It's a good little.
It's good. I like it. Is it just that, or is there an actual song?
There's no like lyrics. It's
Aw.
just all instrumental.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to like put it on like while you're getting ready in the morning. Or
Yeah,
something,
it's like
be
my
all right.
my warm up to
Yeah.
the day music.
I mean, have you ever heard like the beginning part of the song? Like it's just a little bit
No,
of.
I don't think I know.
It's just.
It's
That's
just
all it is. I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
It's cool. I like it. It's
Yeah.
a little simple little guitar riff. Yeah, I like it.
No, you just hang out and just jam away. So
Be a great way to start the day.
exactly, like be a
Yeah.
good alarm or something. You know,
It
wake
would.
up. And
It would
stretch
because
out.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
Exactly.
Because
Be like,
normally
oh.
my alarm goes off and I like want to flip the bed. It'd be still in
It's
it.
like,
you know?
I can't do it. I can't do it. All right, I need to ask you a question right away.
Right.
So, Conor McGregor, great man.
Great man.
Great
What-
man.
What did he do?
You haven't heard what he's done?
Oh, did he say something?
He said something.
Oh boy, what did he
So,
say?
in preparation for UFC 194, which is coming up very shortly.
Yep. I was going to talk about it.
Yeah, and I want to lead into it. It must have been a press conference, must have been something.
Oh
but
man, this man has said so many things.
Conor McGregor said, if I fought Jesus Christ, I would whoop his ass. I would whoop Jesus' ass in the octagon, is what he said.
Oh man.
Yes.
That man is making a career out of just saying the
He
most
is.
ridiculous things ever.
Yeah, even
Oh,
Jesus
my
couldn't
goodness. Wow.
beat me. Yeah. He's like, if Jesus, I forget the exact context of it. He's like, if Jesus came back to life, he's like, I would still whoop his ass too. Like, this is how confident he is in his fighting abilities.
Oh man, is this confidence or is this just blind ego at this
It might
point?
be a bit of both.
Oh,
I don't know.
my goodness.
It makes people like us have something fun to talk about,
It's
though.
true. It's true. You know, I hope Yoso Aldo gives him a good one in the nose just for that.
Apparently not. I mean, it's funny, too, because the article from Fox Sports says Conor McGregor is afraid of no man, and apparently he doesn't even fear a deity in the octagon. So,
Jeez. All
Yeah.
right. Well, you know, obviously Jesus would not lose to Conor McGregor.
I mean, it's
because,
kind
you
of
know,
impossible.
I bet his southpaw stance is phenomenal. So.
just clocks him.
He's got a mean left hook.
Talk
I
about
bet.
a literal, the people's elbow. I mean, he carries the world. Just boom.
He's got the
whole
galaxy's elbow.
He's got the whole world in his hands.
And then he'll promptly drop it on your head.
Finish him.
Give him the world.
Seriously. But
Oh,
anyway, so
yes.
I was just curious to your thoughts.
Oh
about that.
my goodness. No, seriously, I hope Yoso Aldo pops him in the face once for that.
No, I
you know,
agree. Yeah, I
The
mean,
things that McGregor says are crazy.
it is. I mean, it looks like the full quote here. It says, they must have asked him, somebody from TMZ, of course, because they have nothing better to do, must have actually asked him about even if he'd be confident about facing against Jesus. And he said, me versus Jesus in the octagon, there's not a man alive that can't beat me, but if Jesus... But Jesus isn't alive, is
Irish
he?
accent.
Me versus Jesus in the octagon.
There you go.
There's not a man alive that could beat me. But Jesus isn't alive, is he? So I don't know. Maybe if he came back from the dead, I'd still whoop his ass.
Oh man,
So
that is great.
yeah.
Oh
so,
jeez.
Conor McGregor doing things.
You see, all right. See, next Thursday,
Yes.
when I give my next fight corner,
Sure.
then I'm going to go in depth on. Who I think will win out of the... There's a co-main event, so there's not just one
Right,
main event.
right,
there's
right.
two, because there's two titles on the line here. So, next week, I'll go really super in-depth in the two of them. I'll give the bare bones who I think will win, but I'll go super in-depth next
enough.
week. But, funny story quick.
Okay.
So, a coworker of mine, he actually was an MMA fighter in his younger days.
Ooh.
He is 26 now.
And he took an arrow to the knee?
Yeah, pretty much. No, he...
Everyone's like, what?
it's
Skyrim.
a Skyrim reference.
Look it
guys.
up. Get cultured.
But no, so he fought until he was 19. He was undefeated when he was an amateur
Dang.
MMA fighter. Yeah, and he recently got called out by some random person on Facebook. Say it's some 19-year-old or 18-year-old who came out and said, I could beat you. And then my buddy looked at his fights. He goes, no, you couldn't beat me. And so that fight is going to happen.
Really?
My coworker is going to come out and he's going to fight this kid because this kid challenged him.
Dang.
Challenged him to a fight against his manager. I'm assuming his manager didn't know that he was about to call out Dwayne because they actually are from the same school.
Oh,
So the
Like
kid,
fighting school,
Yeah,
or-
the kid could have looked him up and saw that he was undefeated and was like super dominant in the heavyweight
I got
division.
him.
So it'll be interesting. I just found that really.
Are you
cool.
gonna go to the fight?
He's gonna record it.
Okay.
So he's gonna show it to me. But
Nice.
it's kind of cool, kind of fun.
It's all
yeah.
in good fun, right?
It is.
Until
Hopefully.
someone gets a table to the knee.
Hopefully, they just met at a Starbucks because the kid's trying to like psych him out or something.
Call him out at a Starbucks.
Call him out.
Throws his latte in his face.
Brought his manager and his big brother.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so that was
So
just,
intimidating. Take your white chocolate mocha and shove it. Like, okay, bro.
Oh man, but yes. So that was just funny side note before we get
I'm
into
curious
it.
now to see how that happens. Because
Yeah.
I've heard you talk about your friend Dwayne off the air before. So.
Yeah. So
Keep us posted on what happens with that fight.
I will definitely keep.
What's the
keep
Vegas
you
line on this fight?
posted. The Vegas.
So they need a commentator. We could do a full-fledged broadcast.
We could. I could ask.
You could bring it up. I haven't done an MMA fight yet.
And
I'd love
would-
to do it.
I could do the
You could be
play-by-play,
yeah.
and you could do the color.
Perfect.
It would be a cool.
I'd be
role
fine with that.
reversal. Oh,
Talk to
man.
him. We know
All
a
right.
guy. We could make it happen.
All right. I will talk to him.
Okay.
So yes, UFC 194.
Yep.
Fight Corner. Wow, this has just been a
been a hell of a
mad,
show so far.
energetic sort of day.
It's National Cookie Day. In
It's
case you didn't
National
hear.
Cookie- What's your cookie? Your favorite.
My
your
favorite.
favorite
a
cookie.
warm, right out the oven chocolate chip cookie.
Okay, mine is a warm right out the oven snickerdoodle.
Ooh.
Snickerdoodles are my thing.
Okay.
Oh man, I could eat snickerdoodles until I weigh 200 pounds. I'm 5'8". For those of you who don't know, that would be a grotesque weight for me.
A little awkward. Because what are you right
Yeah.
now? Like 170?
155.
Oh, okay.
155.
That's a bit of
which
an
is-
influx.
Yeah. So and I add on about 10 pounds here.
And then you
eventually.
turn it all into pure muscle.
Exactly.
Then you could be an NFL running back.
And then, no, because Maurice Jones-Drew was the last successful 5'8" running back, and he weighed 206 pounds or something like that. 210
He was
pounds.
a big man.
Like, so, did you see that fantasy football video? Him busting out of the sand at the
Yeah.
beach. Oh
I saw
my
that. It's like,
goodness.
stand away, back away, kids. And it was like, What?
If you ever want to waste an hour, go look up fantasy football video promotion videos. They're awesome.
They came
and
out
they're-
like 5 years ago or something like
totally
that.
worth it. I remember the Mason Crosby one. That was a good one.
Yeah,
Where he
ringing the
kicked
bell.
three.
They hate when I do this. Rang the bell at City Hall. It's not easy to do. It's
No.
a hell of a kick.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, well, man, I'm getting all off topic now. Usually, you're the one who goes off.
I know.
on
You're like, would
tangents.
you come back?
And,
No, you're the one that's just deviating.
You got me all like.
Sorry.
I'm super energetic now. All right, so moving on. UFC 194. I'm going to talk about the main fight card and who I think is going to win. And then, like I said, next week we'll go in depth on the actual the main events. Mm-hmm. So the first fight is Damian Maia versus Gunnar Nelson. Now, this match has potential to be really, really fun to watch because these guys are both submissions experts.
Okay.
So it would be really, really cool if we would see them or take each other down, kind of get into submissions. The other one breaks out and then puts a submission on his own. That would be a really, really cool way to fight.
Sure.
However, unfortunately, for people who have a healthy respect for the other person's ability to do the same thing that they can do, they have a tendency to try to stay away from it. So two submissions experts who are afraid to try to do the submission for fear of being submitted themselves, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So that's what I'm chalking this up to. I am going to take Damian Maia because I think his stand-up game is better than Gunnar Nelson's. So I don't know if we got a submission. I would say that it would come pretty late in the fight.
Once they've tired each other out a little bit more.
But I don't think either one will. I think it'll go. I think it'll go to decision or that Damian will win via TKO in the third round. But because his stand-up game is good enough that he can keep most people at bay unless you're a serious stand-up fighter. Like Holly Holm would probably kick him in the head, just like Ronda. Sorry, too soon? Anyway, moving on. So I have Damian Maia winning by decision, but I could also see it going, or did I say decision? I totally okay. So Damian Maia winning via decision, or I could also see him either submitting or getting a TKO in the third round. But it will be in the third round if anything happens. Next fight is Max Holloway versus Jeremy Stevens. And this one will be... Wow, they have a lot of really, really good fights. So Holloway actually could be in the main event. Okay. So if Yosu Aldo or Conor McGregor back out, Max Holloway will go into that fight, and,
nice.
and he will fight in their place.
Okay.
So if that's not an
would they
indicator
back
of things
Injury,
happen,
et cetera.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, things happen. But so that should tell you right there off
That's
the bat
how
how
good
good
he
he
is.
is.
Yeah, no
because
kidding.
if he can go toe to toe with either one of those men, like
They gotta
that,
consider
that's
to be fairly good.
That's insane. Now he did fight Conor McGregor back in 2013.
Okay.
And he lost via decision.
Oh,
But that
wow.
means he went all rounds
No
with
kidding.
McGregor.
Yeah, I mean, if you could hang out with probably not as good Conor McGregor, because I'm sure he's gotten better.
I'm sure.
But still, to be able to say that you could, lost by decision, that's not
Yeah.
a bad thing.
Definitely not. And he's been a perfect 7-0 since
Okay.
then. He has won
Wow.
all of
So
his
he's
fights
certainly
since
done a
then.
very good job.
And Stevens is I don't want to call him a brawler, but he's the kind of guy who will take your punishment and dish
Okay.
it right back to you.
Oh,
and
geez, okay.
he has a huge hands. He has super heavy hands,
Dang.
meaning he has a lot of knockout power.
Yes.
So it could go either way, but I'm still gonna give it to Holloway. I think Holloway is just too good. He's just too good. So I'm giving it to Holloway. I'm going by decision. I don't think either will knock
Okay.
each other out. So the next fight is Ronaldo Souza versus Yoel Romero, and both again. Romero's a former Olympian.
Listen, I've heard Romero's name mentioned more than
And
once before.
I am a huge Romero fan. I really, really like the guy. I think he's a fantastic fighter. I actually do have him winning.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, that's not just me being biased. I think that his wrestling is phenomenal. Like he's a former Olympian, so
He's gotta be good.
He has one of the best wrestling resumes as anyone else
Sure.
in the UFC right now. So, and then he's a really, really good stand-up fighter as well. He's got good hands. I've seen people say that he's got titanium fists, so I really like that. That was via Bleacher Report. I really liked that, so I had to throw that in there. I do have Yoel Romero winning. I think he'll win by decision as well. I think most of these fights are going to go to
Decision? Okay.
decision. But hopefully they're action-packed going all the way to decision. If Romero doesn't win via decision, I think that he will probably get a TKO in, I'd say, probably late round 2.
Okay.
And then for the McGregor-Aldo fight, I am going to give it to... Actually, just kidding. We're going to do the Chris Weidman and Luke Rockhold first.
Okay.
Sorry, I was jumping ahead of myself.
You're
I'm
fine.
getting so excited
You're
about
fine.
McGregor's fight. So here we go. Chris Weidman versus Luke Rockhold. This is going to be a phenomenal fight. Chris Weidman is the middleweight champion. He's got it 13-0. That's his record right now.
Wow.
13-0. So he's doing really, really well. Luke Rockhold is 14-2. Looks really, really good coming into the fight. It could go either way, but I'm going purely off of the fact that Weidman's already the champion, that momentum is just going to carry him forward, and then he's going to win.
It makes sense. It's hard to dethrone a champion.
And I have absolutely no idea how they're going to win, who's going to win,
Someone's gonna win, though.
if it's going to go by decision or not. I'll talk more about it next week. But yeah, it's going to be a great fight. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, anticipating. Yoso Aldo versus Conor McGregor, a fight that is bigger, in my opinion, than the Ronda fight. I am a huge fan of both of these guys. Right off the bat, I'm giving it to Aldo.
Really? Okay.
I am giving it to Aldo. That dude is ridiculous. He is probably pound for pound the best fighter in the UFC.
Wow.
And McGregor's on the list, probably of top 10 best.
Sure.
But Aldo he is just too good. His technique is just so good. And just the aura he has in the octagon. He is invincible, and he seems invincible when you're in the octagon. Now, McGregor can come out and say these things like, I'll beat him, he doesn't stand any form of a chance, whatever.
Sure.
But in all seriousness, Aldo is invincible, and I don't see anyone dethroning him for a while. So I'm giving...
Well, I mean, that's a good thing to have on your side, obviously, if you think
Yeah.
that you're going to be able to go that route. So.
Yeah. And the other reason I have is McGregor is becoming more of... he's becoming more willing to take punishment in order to dish punishment out. And that will not work against Aldo.
So that's a hard thing
If
to
you
do.
take a punch to give a punch,
Yeah.
Aldo will punch you too hard.
Jeez.
And if McGregor kind of slips into that, because, Conor McGregor has one of the biggest egos in athletics.
As we've heard.
He wants $1 million contract. He thinks he can beat Jesus. The list goes on and
He's
on.
confident, if anything.
He's confident, yeah. And so if he tries that, if he tries to stand up and take punishment from Aldo in order to give punishment, he will lose. Just flat out, he will lose.
Just straight up.
Straight
Dunzo.
up. Yeah.
No more.
We're going to talk more about the main events next week, but this was the preview, so to speak. Just a taste.
Make you to wet your whistle, as it were, just to give you an idea of what was coming up. All right, well, thank you, Connor. We appreciate it, and we'll chat with you again on Monday, sir.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, another exciting edition of the BG Sports Show in the bag. Special thanks to Connor Christensen for stopping by for his Fight Corner today, and for my co-host Sam Wallace putting up with me, as he does every day. So go back and listen to all the craziness that took place during our NFL predictions, and a little bit of beginning of Connor's Fight Corner as well. So enjoy your NFL-packed weekend, and if you're a college football fan, get after it. And don't forget, MLS Cup is on Sunday as well, so a lot of great sporting events to go out and watch. Go out, support your local team, support the sports world as a whole. Enjoy it. Good luck to your fantasy teams. For Sam Wallace, I'm Baxter Colburn. We'll see you all again on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.